What's up, everybody, man? So look, let me just get straight into this video, guys. It has been crazy. I've been doing this phase 1 for 4 weeks and we are finally finished. It feels so good. Make sure y'all drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be showing people how they can unlock, their phase 1 accounts as well and become a better trader. This is my Funded Next account right here, you guys. I just want to show you guys that I did complete the challenge. It took me about 20 days. It was a good journey. What I've learned is to take my time with these challenges. I think I was watching Paladin, one of ICT's students, and he was telling me how long it takes him to to complete a challenge, and I think he said sometimes it can take like a month or a month and a half. And that made me realize that I was rushing these challenges because I have failed so many challenges throughout my time, and from failing them so much, it made me realize that I just need to just take my time and manage my risk a lot better when I'm doing these challenges, you guys. So, I just want to show you guys just real quick. They sent me the email and everything saying, hey, congratulations, you passed the phase 1. I'm not going to really focus too much on this part of the video because I really want to get into a trade breakdown with you guys so I can show people exactly what I'm doing when I'm trading, what I'm looking at, so that hopefully, if you're a beginner trader, maybe you can learn something from these videos, because I really want them to be informational and I really want to inspire people, because the information that I have received from ICT has really helped me a lot, and I haven't really made any significant money yet, but just seeing my trading evolve the way it have is very, very good for my mental health, and it gives me a lot of hope in life. So let's get into these trades, you guys. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview on all of the trades that I took. I took 118 trades overall. I had 42 losses and 72 wins, making my win percentage 64%, which is not bad. It could be a lot better, obviously, but I feel like I did a pretty good job managing my risk. If you guys can see my losses, like a lot of them are really small losses. So let's get into this breakdown on the NASDAQ. So like I told you guys before, the first thing I normally look for is the previous day highs and lows. So if we are looking at today's market, this is our daily candle for today, right? This is a live market. It's 5:10, so it's not really moving right now. But if I'm looking at this market, right, the first thing I'm thinking is, are we going up? Are we going down? Based on the previous day highs and lows, okay? So now when you see what I seen, because I trade every day and I'm looking at the markets live. At first I was looking at this. The first thing that I would notice is this high right here. This daily high was broken by this high, right? So that is what ICT calls buy side liquidity, or a run on liquidity, okay? So now think about it, right? This is basic logic. If the market takes buy side liquidity, meaning that it went up and it took out a recent high, right? And if it don't keep going up, then we're going to start looking for recent lows, okay? So what you can do, I don't do this on my chart, but you can put a line on every low of the daily, okay? Mind you, this is for my beginner traders. If you're advanced, you may not really enjoy this, but this is for my, beginner traders. I just want to try to help you guys as much as possible, right? So I'm putting a line on all of my daily lows, right? Because this proves to you that the market runs for these lows, okay? So each red line is a daily low. I want you guys to remember that. Some of them may not be perfect, but I just want you guys to remember that as we do this breakdown. Each line is a daily low, okay? So we had this run, and then I'll point an arrow to it real fast just so y'all can, I just want to make sure that y'all can see it. Okay, so we have a daily low right there. We have a daily low right here. We have, I put a line on this daily low right here. And I put one on this daily low right here, right? So all of those are daily lows. Okay, now, so when I drop down into my time frames, I want to show you guys what this look like, because this is a live market, okay? So the first thing I want to do is drop down into the 4-hour time frame. Now, if you notice, this big 4-hour candle right here, this is when I, start to look at the market, mostly because, this is between 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. So I don't really look at the market before then, because more than likely I'm asleep, okay? So I'll put this entire thing in a box. I'm gonna box up this entire range because I wanna do this breakdown and show you guys the exact range that I'm looking at, when I'm trading. So we'll just put this in a white box, okay? So this is my range that I'm trading in. So I'll drop down into, now the time frame that I typically trade off of the most is the 15-minute time frame. So even though I do my breakdowns on every time frame, when I'm actually like looking at the live market, I'm mostly looking at the 15-minute time frame. So today we had news at 8:30, okay? This big candle right here is the 8:30 news. So notice how, at 8:30, the market comes down and it runs all of the daily swing lows or the daily lows from the previous days, right? It takes all of those days out. Okay, now I'm going to delete them off my chart. Okay. So it took all three of those out, but it had yet to come and take this daily low out. This was our last one. Now, why did we think this could be a target? Great question, okay? Now, when you scroll to the left over here, okay, you can see that there's swing low, right? And this is what ICT calls a, relative equal lows right here. So I had this line on my chart as well throughout the day because, I wanted to see that at least be touched. And, later on in the day, we seen it touch it towards the market close. And notice how as soon as it touched it, we talking about, it went to maybe a couple points under, and then the market shoots up, okay? So, but let's not get too lost. I want to show you guys this 8:30 candle. So what happened was the market had made a big drop at 8:30, okay? So I'm going to drop down into the 1-minute time frame. So the market makes a big drop down, and then this is around, market open is about right in here. Okay, so this is around market open. So the first trade that I took was on a smaller time frame, and it was off of the 3-minute chart. The first trade I took was where is it at? I'm trying to see. Yeah, I believe it was, it was right here, right? So as you guys can see right here, we have a swing low that was formed on the 3-minute time frame. I'm going to try to zoom in because I want y'all to see everything is the best that you guys can see it. So we had the swing low right here. And then notice how the market came down and ran that swing low out. This little wick right here, the market came down and ran this swing low. When it did that, it created a fair value gap on the way up. It created this fair value gap right here. Okay, I'll put that in. Let's just put that in green. Okay, if you can't see the fair value gap, or you don't know what a fair value gap is, make sure y'all go to ICT's channel and learn about fair value gaps. I'm not going to teach it in this breakdown. I just want to show you guys the type of trades you can take to get, to pass a phase 1 challenge, right? So this was a fair value gap, and then notice how it's breaking this swing high right here. So the reason why it was valid for me is it broke past the low, this low right here, right? It broke past this low where the red line is at. And then B, it broke a high. It broke this high right here. And when it broke that high, it created a fair value gap. That's what makes a fair value gap valid to me. It's just that simple. But if you want to, learn more about it, I really recommend you go to ICT channel. He has like really deep details about fair value gaps, okay? So for me, my goal is to, I want to see the market go from this fair value gap all the way back up into this imbalance. So from this fair value gap back up into this imbalance right here, that's my goal. And typically what I would do is I would use my fib. Okay, now remember, this is all advanced stuff, but I want to just show you guys how I trade. I would use my fib, right? Look at that purple line. I would, half of this gap, because this is essentially a big fair value gap as well, but half of this gap where my purple line is at, that's where I would typically look to take profit. Sometimes it can go up all the way up, but this market was really bearish. And when the market is really bearish and you're trying to counter trend up into an imbalance, always just look for half of the imbalance to be met. Don't try to trade, back up until the top of the range, okay? The top of the range being up here, okay? And ICT teaches about that too. Some days you can get the top of that range, but when it's really bearish like this, it's never going to give it to you. Sometimes when it's really bearish, it may not even give you half. But I felt really comfortable about at least getting half today. But this was the trade that completed my phase 2. This was the trade that completed my phase 1, so I didn't even need half of the range. I was just selling right here past this swing high. So as soon as the market broke past that swing high, I was done with the trade. Okay, but I'm just trying to show you guys different trade ideas that y'all can take. Now, when the market come to have the halfway point of that imbalance, obviously you could be a seller right here. But the problem is your stop loss will have to be all the way above this high right here. So, you have to learn how to adjust your stop loss. Or what you can also do, if you don't want to have a really big stop loss, you can wait for the market to react. I was watching this live, so I don't trade after 11, and I definitely don't trade from 12 to 1 p.m. Okay? Beginner traders, write this down. Do whatever you have to do to remember this. Do not trade from 12 to 1 p.m. Sometimes you can get away with trading after 11, but pretty much never, ever trade after 12 to 1 p.m. It's never worth it, ever. So when the market was, I'll just box this up, okay? Because like I said, I don't trade from 11 to 12. Okay, so all of this was no trade zone for me. All of this was no trade zone for me. And yes, I was seeing the market come down. But me personally, I even like to wait until 1:30. So realistically, that whole entire box, I'm not trading it. I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, the market is coming down. And yes, the market did come down. And you could have, been a seller. You could have been a seller based off of this imbalance, looking for it to go down. But me, I would have waited for time and price. This is something that's really important. And ICT teaches this. This is what took my trading to the next level. Time and price. Okay, so it don't matter what strategy you're using. If you trade fair value gaps at, 12, they're not going to work the same. If you trade them at 5:30 or 6:30, they're not going to work the same. The market moves based on time, then price. That is one of the most important things you can remember, okay? So from here, I'm noticing that, we're making lower highs and lower lows. We're on a downtrend. Okay, I'm going to go into a different time frame. Let's see how it looks on the 15-minute chart. You can't really see many trade ideas on the 15-minute chart. And this is why, he teaches you to toggle through your time frames. Because you won't see certain things. That's why even if you notice on my trading view, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have all of these different time frames. I got the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour. Some of you may not have those time frames on your trading view. I really recommend that y'all start looking at as many time frames as you can. Okay, so the price did get back into this little fair value gap right here. I'm going to put a yellow box right here. Okay, so even if you're waiting for time and price, ICT teaches you to start looking for trades around 130. As soon as we get outside of this red box, notice how price did come back into this fair value gap right here at 130. Right, price come up and you can be a seller right there. And if you miss that sell, right, because remember, we're still targeting, I'm going to take this red line. We're still targeting this red line throughout the end of the day. It still haven't touched that red line yet, so we're still looking for the market to draw into this red line, which is a daily swing low. Okay, and it's also relative equal lows there. So if you miss that sell, no problem. The market is giving you a million chances to make money today. If you can't make money today, then today is one of the easiest days to trade, honestly. So if you're struggling with a day like this, it's okay. It just means that you're a beginner. You have a lot to learn. Okay, the market gave you another sell, comes back up and sell off. Okay, understand something. This from even from here, right, where you see that green arrow, from here to here, mind you, and that's a wick exit. But you don't have to try to be a wick exit. You don't have to try to, get out at the exact bottom and be fancy. But from there to there, that's 100 pips, or that's 100 points of, that's a pretty good range. And your stop loss will have to be above this candle right here. So you have a much tighter stop with the opportunity to still make 100 points. Okay, these are the trades. If you do what I'm showing you right here, if you do this every day, I'm telling you, you will pass your phase one. But you have to also remember risk management. Okay, so just remember the steps. You wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what's going to happen? Is it going to go for the swing lows or the daily swing highs? I'm sorry, is it going to go for the daily lows, previous day lows, or previous day highs? That's what you're asking yourself every day. Now, obviously, when you look at the daily chart now, like let's say we was looking for a trade for tomorrow, we just took a bunch of swing lows. So if I'm going to be a trader tomorrow, obviously I have to wait. I'm not going to try to predict the market, but notice how we bounced off of that swing low. Notice how we bounced off of this. And then when you look into the higher time frames, let's say the daily, okay, there's no fair value gaps on the daily right now. That's fine. Drop down into the 4 hour. Always check your daily and the 4 hour first. What do we have right here? We have a daily fair value gap. Okay, right here. Okay, we have another one on top of it. And I love to see this. This is one of my favorite things to see, honestly. So when you see these PD arrays, fair value gaps, the market will likely want to draw up into this fair value gap. Now, do I think it's going to take out this daily high right here, this previous day high right here, probably not that one. I don't know for sure. I'm not from the future. It could. I don't know. I don't think it will though, because we're very bearish right now. Okay, but we do have these 3 fair value gaps that we can look at. I would say that the market will want to at least take this one down here and then draw up into this fair value gap right here, this pink one. Or I'll make it orange. Oh no, I'll make it orange. I'll say it will at least want to draw up into this one, and then we could possibly see it come back down again. But we have to wait and see the market sentiment. We could wake up tomorrow and the market is really, really bullish. We don't know what's going to happen. But from my experience, I believe that we're going to draw into that fair value gap and then continue lower. So if y'all enjoyed this breakdown, if you learned anything from this breakdown, if you want more videos like this, make sure y'all leave a like, leave a comment, tell me how I can improve my videos. And now I want to take you guys into the trade that I made during the live markets that, finished my phase 1, so I can show you guys exactly how these strategies look in live markets. So this is the 3-minute time frame that I was telling you guys about. Mind you, I did speed this video up because I don't want this video to just be, forever. So if you guys look at the screen, you guys can see right there by NICE 100, it says 3 minutes, where I'm on a 3-minute time frame. This is where I first was taking my entry. Because the market is so bearish, I was looking for a price to do exactly that, go a little bit outside of the fair value gap. This is how I get wick entries, and I've learned to do that simply from just studying ICT's concepts. He has so much content on his channel. All you have to do is go on there and just binge watch. If you're binge watching anything else, you can binge watch something that's going to potentially, better your life. So I was getting in right there. And those 2 lines you see, you didn't see that on the breakdown because I used a different chart for the breakdown, for the breakdown. But those little yellow lines right there, that is the new week opening the gap. So what I really wanted to see was I wanted to see the market break past the new week opening gap and not treat it as resistance. So as you guys can see, not even long after being in the trade, I was in profits. The trade was going really well. But, because that new week opening gap was there, the market started to respect that new week opening gap. And, during the live trade, I really did not want to see this. But I wanted to take my time because like I told you guys on the breakdown, the thought process was that the market would want to get back into that big imbalance that you guys had seen during the breakdown that was caused by the 8:30 news, the 8:30 CPI news. So I was just being patient. As you guys can see, it's 9:45. So the market had just recently opened. It haven't even been open for 20, 30 minutes yet. So I just want to be careful because sometimes I do know that sometimes I can be a little bit early to the party, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the beauty of learning from ICT. He teaches you how to be early instead of waiting for all of these structure breaks and everything else, But sometimes it can freak you out a little bit as well. So my thought process now was just to average into the trade. So, I did take another entry, and I was only going for about 25 to 30 points on this trade. That's all I needed to complete my challenge. So, so I didn't have the second entry, but I did add on another entry sooner or later. I didn't want to at first because my initial goal was just to wait for it to go into the imbalance, still manage my risk properly, because if I add another position on, then essentially I'm doubling my risk, and I didn't really want to do that. But I told myself if I do that, the most I will allow myself to lose is about 1,000 to 1,500, which is about 1 to 1.5%. But this trade just was giving me a good feeling, even though it wasn't doing exactly what I wanted it to do. right off the bat, it was giving me just good price action. So I just relaxed my mind, because another thing I want to talk about is like when you get to the end of these challenges, like, if your goal is to make 8% and you're up 6% or 7%, it starts to really, play with your psychology. And I felt that the last 3 or 4 days of being up, 6 and 7%, I felt like my trading started to change a little bit. Some of the things that I was doing, like I honestly, I could have completed the challenge, but I was in some trades that I should have been patient with, but I wasn't being patient because of just, freaking myself out or thinking too much. So that's another thing that, people don't really talk about enough when it comes to prop firms, is that, you have to be really protective of your account, and that alone can change the way that you trade. So you guys can see right here, I did add it into that trade, making sure that my stop loss and my take profit is where it needs to be. I had it at 597, so I was going for about 30 points on both of my entries, which is 60 points altogether. But because this is one trade idea, I would just call that 30 points. So at this point, I feel like all I have to do is be patient. It wasn't quite doing exactly what I wanted to do. Now, I will be honest, I even thought about closing this trade at one point. I think it was actually maybe right here, or it started to like go outside of the box again. Now, mind you, it was giving me good, price action up until this point, but when I started to see it started to make those little movements, I did not like that during a live price action. So you can even see I'm moving my screen around a lot. It's making me very antsy, but I want to be patient with it, because look, even right there, I thought about closing. I honestly thought about closing this trade because, like I said, when you have a prop firm account, you want to be really protective of it. And if the market isn't giving you exactly what, you need the market to give you, it's okay to get out. Sometimes you may close the trade and then it'll keep going without you. That's okay. Sometimes you may take profits too soon and it'll keep going without you. But right here, this is the big moment right here, you guys. The market started to go up. This is essentially when I knew that I was completing this phase one off of this trade, and this is where my take profit gets hit and we complete phase one. So make sure y'all stay tuned, because I'm going to be showing y'all phase two as well. And when I pass phase two, we're going to go straight into me getting my first withdrawal. So if y'all want to keep up with the journey, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, like the video. I greatly appreciate it. And if y'all have any questions, make sure y'all leave a comment as well. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Until the next time.